Hello and welcome to Political News, Political Views. My name is David Lillis. For those who have listened to me before, I haven't been on very much. Had some health issues, a lot of work, um, and a few threats. I'm sad to say. Um, a lot of people that have come up to me have enjoyed the show, disagreed with it at times, but did listen. So this show is based on one of my heroes in the past from WKBD TV in Detroit was Lou Gordon. His show began with no teleprompters, no cue cards, no idiot boards, just straight ad-lib conversation. The one thing with Lou Gordon, which I have tried to emulate, is that he knew what he was talking about before he got on. And if he didn't, he was honest enough to say, this is an opinion, or he would question things. That's what we don't have nowadays. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because we are in a situation right now that is quite scary, to say the least. We're seeing things, we're hearing things that are just beyond reason. Our current, let me back up a second here. As I've said in the past, I've run for office. I saw good politicians. I saw some that belonged in jail. A pretty big extreme there. But the fact is, what we have now is just a damn disgrace. The things that we see are the equivalent to me of a reality show, and a bad one at that. The stuff they're talking about, the issues that are out there. And one thing that I keep telling people is whatever these jackasses do, you got to live with it and you got to pay for it. So let's go jump into a few examples, see if I can connect with you. Tariffs. Even when I was in high school, and that was many years ago, that was over 50 years ago, we learned what tariffs were. We have a man in the White House now who has no knowledge of it and has a complete staff that actually encourage him in his stupidity. He keeps putting him on and telling him how great he is. And, this is the guy that can't tell the truth to save his ass. But I will give you an example of it. When I say whatever they do, you got to live with it and you got to pay for it. Let me ask all of you, and be honest with yourselves, has your car insurance gone up? Has your homeowner's insurance gone up? Now, that happened to me. My homeowners and my car insurance went up well over $1,000 last year. Or, well, this year. I take it back. I'm sorry, this year. And the reason being is they said because of the tariffs, because of the shortage of lumber, because there's less coming in, because all these forests are burning, and we refuse to admit that there's climate change. The world is not infinite. We will run out of things. But what they've done is they take advantage of the situation. Now, for example, with car insurance. So he said that, because the tariffs went up, there's going to be a larger charge for parts. Okay? What if they don't go up? Because they were on again, off again, on again, off again. Okay, let's take a look at that. So they went on, and then they were taken off, and I said, well, then that means my insurance comes down. Oh, no, insurance never comes down. Really? Well, that's quite interesting. My homeowners insurance went up, as did yours. Taxes in the area went up because costs are going to go up. Well, what we've done is we've set ourselves up for something that's really artificial. The tariffs, for God's sakes, the tariffs are charged and paid for by the companies who order the product. They, in turn, pass it on. We are paying those tariffs. Why are there people out there who do not believe it? Why do you listen to a man who says your costs have come down? And I heard him. He said gas was under $2 a gallon, but I don't know where. I looked, couldn't find him. And yet he keeps going with this. One of the things that I brought up in past shows, and I'll bring it up again. I'm going to bring up a few things again because I haven't been on the air in a while, but this one is quite important. I went up north to where I grew up in Boyne City. And way back when, we had excellent teachers. They were beyond good. But they did one thing that set us apart. And there's a lot of great teachers out there. Lake Orion has many of them, as does Oxford and the areas around here, that teach kids how to think. Not what to think. Not listen to an idiot who paints himself orange, tell them something and they say, oh, well, if he says it, it must be true. These are the people that stand out in the rain because someone told them it's not going to rain today. I'm trying to keep this as clean as possible, but this is really amazing that we allow a man like this to lie to our face, and yet people believe him. Another thing, some other things that I learned, and I'm going to show this book. You can get it at 5 and below for people who are not of extensive means. I happen to be one of them. But it's the Constitution. We learned history a certain way. In fact, I had a great history teacher who would give us an assignment for overnight. Then we'd have a quiz on it the next day. 5 questions and 1 bonus question. Bonus question was usually who's going to win the Michigan State game, something like that. And then after we took the test, he knew who was reading and who wasn't. But then he would tell us, all right, close your books, which we did. And he told us the real history. Not dates and names and all of that, but the actions of these people and what they did and why they did it. And that's what set us apart. We walked out of there, we learned how to think. We had an instructor that would discontinue the math lessons for 2 weeks and had us do nothing but play chess. We learned the pieces, the individual pieces, what they could and couldn't do. We learned strategy. We learned how to think, because you not only had to think about what you did, you had to think about what your opponent did. And for 2 weeks, we were indoctrinated into the proper way of teaching. So that when we went out into the world and we heard some bullshit that we hear now, we could decipher if it was right or wrong. And there are times where somebody can be partially right. We could figure that out. But that's not how it is now. Because what we have now is a man who says, you either believe everything I say, you kiss my ass, you do as I tell you, or you're my enemy. How many times have we had a president that had more people that were his enemy than were his followers? Example. Okay. Would somebody tell this jackass that when you're on the air, like I am now, once you say something, you are recorded? You can't come back and say, I never said that. Example? Okay. The Jeffrey Epstein tapes. While he was campaigning, he kept bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. He was going to release those tapes until he found out that Jeffrey Epstein pulled a fast one and put him in on him. Now, he's saying they were never friends. He never liked the guy. Well, I'm sorry, but your past history shows that you did. Your past history shows what kind of person you were. I bring this up because I've talked to people who, when he says it's a hoax, well, now wait a minute. You said you didn't even know the guy, and then they showed pictures of you being with him. You wrote something that he was one of your best friends, and Epstein himself accused you. Now, I'll tell you how he did that. If you look on the tape of the interview with Epstein, they said, "Did you know Donald Trump?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Was he around you when there were these girls?" And Epstein said something to the effect that, "Well, I don't want to answer that right now. You've been lying to us. And people are believing you. You said the immigration was a problem. Well, immigration's been a problem for years. Part of that is our fault because we put in politicians who talk a good story and don't deliver. When I ran, I was straight up with people. The fact is, that doesn't seem to be how we want to vote now. We want to vote to what makes us feel good. But we've gone a little too far. We've gone to the point that this man breeds hate. Donald Trump is a virus, and a bad one. He makes people angry. He breeds hate and discourse in them. We used to be a country where we got along with our neighbors, but that's not true anymore. We follow this sociopath who tells you how to hate, how everyone's against you. And that's not true. I grew up learning that this country was benevolent, was the one that other countries look to and say, that's what I want to be. That's where I want to go. But that's not how we are now. Now we're a country, the things that we're seeing, that these ICE agents, that's something we learned about in World War II. When the Germans would go down the street and grab the Jews by their beard and make them lick their boots. When they would harass Catholics and blacks and gypsies and anyone who didn't disagree with them. They had to have an enemy. Hitler had to have an enemy, as did Stalin, as did Mussolini. And Trump, by the admission of his first wife, said that that was the one thing he did study, that he would have the books on his nightstand. And now he brings it forth. He wants people to hate. He needs that. He needs to feed off it. So now who is it? Anyone who doesn't agree with him. Anyone who doesn't follow his very word and praise him. We used to look at our politicians as respectable people. Every once in a while, one would pop in that would be less than respectable. But now you can't tell one from the other. And the thing is, they follow Trump. Now, granted, they followed Biden, but there were a lot of times that Biden and Obama and Bush and the previous presidents, they could disagree with them without getting harassed. But Trump has gone light years further. They're afraid. Mitt Romney wrote that in his book, that in the second impeachment. They were going to vote to impeach him, but Trump got through to their families, through to them, and let them know what would happen if he became impeached. So you look at this guy, well, how could he do that? Those 3 militias that he had behind him, and there were more than that. Michigan has quite a few that are behind him. The Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the 3 percenters. When you look at those people on the street, the ICE agents, why do you think they wear masks? They said, oh, because if the people see their face, they'll find them. No. We already know who they are. And Trump knows who they are. And Ricky Tarrio went down to Mar-a-Lago, lied and said he had a 3-minute meeting to thank him for releasing him from jail. Isn't that something? He released him from jail because of what happened on January 6th. It wasn't a 3-minute meeting. It was a 3-hour meeting. And he pledged his loyalty to him, as did Rhodes, as did the 3 percenters. They are part of his militias. What president should have militias? None. That's not how our country works. And you know it. What's happening now is reminiscent of Germany before World War II. And we see it. And people are now starting to say, no, that's not how it should be. Well, let's take it a step back further. Over a year ago, the Democrats went to the Republicans because this issue had been going back and forth and back and forth. Nothing was getting done. Everyone would bitch about it, but they wouldn't do anything. Kind of like how people are. But they went to James Lankford of Oklahoma. And one of the Democratic senators, I can't think of his name right now. Okay. They wrote a new bill. The Democrats said, look, whatever you want, we're going to go along with it because we need to get this taken care of. And they carved out a bill, and it was going to be voted on. Everybody agreed to it. The Democrats agreed to it. The Republicans agreed to it. That bill, which would have helped to fix, in a humane way, immigration, Donald Trump said absolutely not. He wanted it killed. And you can read this. This is I'm not making this shit up. You can read this. The immigration problem would have been better off with the courts being increased, so these people could have gone to court, because so many of them, they clean your goddamn toilets. They pick your food. They clean your streets. They do the jobs that nobody else will do. And Trump lies about them, saying that, oh, they're collecting Social Security. No, they can't collect Social Security. They lied about the whole thing. And he keeps on lying about it. He says things that will piss you off that are totally untrue. And rather than you stop and think or listen to what is the truth, you listen to him and move on. Well, those things are getting people hurt and killed. Is that what we are? Is that what we become? That bill would have done in a human way, fixed immigration, but Trump needed an enemy. So the Republicans thought, oh, he's going to bring it up as an issue. No, he didn't bring it up as an issue. This is tyranny. This is cruelty. And because we let it happen, we are just as guilty. And you know better. What's worse is the fact that now U.S. citizens are being picked up. Did you see that? U.S. citizens are being picked up and deported. I said that last year. I knew that was going to happen. If you disagree, if you show any resistance to these ICE agents, you could be picked up and put in a detention camp and flown the hell out of here. Has it happened? Yes, it has. Ladies and gentlemen, as a precaution, you better be able to know where your kids, your friends, your relatives, where they are, because any one of them could be picked up. Sound far-fetched? It isn't. Not in the least. Because once you're picked up, there is no repercussions. You don't get to go to court. You get picked up, put in a camp, and then flown the hell out of here. Sounds crazy? It's not. It's true. This is Trump's Gestapo. You say that's wrong? Well, let's take a look at it. They go into a city. They're not wanted there. Now, if, and I'm going to side with you on this, if they were there to pick up rapists and murderers and stuff like that, there never was any question on that. Under any president, Trump thinks he came up with that. But that wasn't what it was. What it was supposed to be was to take the violent ones out. Trump pardoned violent people on January 20th. You saw their actions. You visibly saw it. It is recorded. And Trump pardoned them, and he says he's against violence. He's suing everybody and their brother that speaks against him. Well, first of all, he's not allowed to do that. But he's doing it anyway. And he's so bold about it, whenever a station says something, he stated, well, I wonder how much I can get this time. You see this stuff. Why does it not register? Or it's not bothering me, so what the hell? Well, it does bother you. Because these ICE agents are not only getting away with it, then he against, and we'll find out as soon as the Supreme Court gets up off their ass and does something, he's calling in the National Guard to protect the ICE agents, and then calls in the Marines to protect the National Guard. This doesn't bother you? You don't see this? Or are you cheering it on? This is where I get into an argument with a lot of maggots. He's cleaning up the country. He's bringing down crime. No, he's exaggerating the shit out of everything. He lies. The man cannot breathe without lying. And you don't bother to listen to it. It's obvious. Example, January 6th, he said it was a love fest. He said he told him to go over there peacefully. Well, those hearings clearly showed he was in on it. And now he's going after all of them. So it's not just the Gestapo. Now he has taken the Department of Justice, which belongs to the people. They are now belong to him. Say something against him like I'm doing right now and see what happens. When he first got into office, he collected information through Elon Musk. They downloaded from the IRS. They downloaded from Social Security. They downloaded from Medicare. The one thing that up to this point right now that he hasn't gotten is your voting records. He tried that back in 2017 with Chris Kolbach, pulling in all the information of voters. And the Secretary of States of all 50 countries said, hell no. Some said worse. He needs that information. This way he can go after you. The FBI does not belong to the citizens anymore. It is his personal investigative unit. but the ICE agents are his personal police force. If you're standing there, like the one preacher that raised his hands and got a bullet or a pepper pellet in his head, we watched the soldier come up and put it right to his head. That doesn't bother you? Or is it, it happened to him, he's not against Trump, so therefore he deserved it. Is that it? Well, let me tell you something. All this crap, you think because you support Trump, you're absolved? You're not absolved of higher prices. You're not absolved of being able to say what you want. You're not absolved of taxes. Think, people, think. You think ICE wouldn't come in to Lake Orion and tear the place up? They are so bold and have been given so much latitude that they can pull, if you watch out of North Carolina this past week, they pulled that guy out of his car after they broke his window, held him for 6 hours, found out he was a citizen and said, okay, you can go. They just grab people. We don't even give them due process because he's got people believing they're the enemy. Well, they're not the enemy. These are human beings. And yet you allow it to happen. He says he'll withhold money. He's going into the colleges now. He's going into the schools. You will learn. Now, if you listen to him in his first term, when he went over to North Korea and he saw how they praised Kim Jong-un, and he said, that's the way I would like it for me. And he's getting it. Why? Because back then there were people that had sense that put him in his place. He did tell Mark Esper and Mark Milley that he wanted citizens shot. And when they said, you can't do that, he said, well, just shoot him in the legs. Well, now he's shooting them in the legs because there's no one there to stop him. He got all people that will do exactly what he says. So you are not absolved of his tyranny. You are not. Your future right now, he wants to rewrite history. January 6th, come on, people. You saw the films of January 6th. Are you telling me? Because he said he lost the election. You lost by over almost 8 million votes. And it's recorded. And it's been proven that it was proper. And you still say that because you're a goddamn loser. You've always been a loser. And now you're just proving it. But now you got smart. Okay, I couldn't get away with it, and now everybody agrees with him. And damn you if you don't. And he will lie. You will say the prices are too high, and he says, no, they aren't. He gasses up to the same levels. Oh, no, it isn't. It's below $2 a gallon. But he doesn't stop there. I'm going to do something. I've done it before, and I believe it needs to be done again. For any Canadian citizen or anyone from Canada can hear me, I want to apologize because we have a jackass running the country. Canada was our closest neighbor. Canada was our biggest trade country. We've always had Canada? Canada is about as friendly as you can get. Except for maybe the island that Trump put tariffs on that had only penguins on it. I apologize to Canada. He is a jackass. You are right. But understand this. Just because Trump says it doesn't make it so. Mexico. We could have worked things out. But Trump can't do that because he has to have an enemy. He has to have someone that he can throw up in front of the people to show that there's force there. showed that only when he used to stand up at his rallies, and the ones that really blew me away were the ones with the documents. He said, these people are coming after you, but first they have to get through me. Well, let me tell you something, you dumb son of a bitch. I didn't have any documents. You did. Those documents were so sensitive. There were some in there that only 4 leaders were allowed to look at. And you had them and you were showing them around. There's a rumor that he was actually trying to get sex from women at Mar-a-Lago by showing them the documents. That has not been verified, but it has been said. You have already shown what kind of a person you are. Your comments on the bus, the way you acted when you were a young, whatever the hell you were. Oh, there's another thing. Right now, this is kind of a bitching session, but we're going to get into more detail on different subjects later. But for right now, let's take a look at this. I have always wondered how you were able to talk about how dumb the generals were, and yet you were a coward. And your father got you 5 deferments. 5. And the 2 daughters of the doctor who did it, verified it and showed the papers. So it is verified. There was nothing wrong with you. Bone spurs, you were a coward. You made the comment, I'm staying here and I'm going to fight syphilis. Yeah, that's what you said. How can anyone in the military have any respect for a coward? And then to go and make the comment about how they were losers because they got killed. You even pointed at an injured soldier, a crippled soldier, and said you didn't want him being seen because you didn't like the optics of it. How could any military soldier show any respect for you? You're a damn disgrace. And then you put Pete Hegseth in, a so-called highest ranking of a major, now telling 5-star generals what to do. A drunk, a womanizer, somebody who cheated his own fellow soldiers out of their money, and you put him in charge? And then when they get up there, the whole damn bunch of them, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel's weird. That's somebody that, would stalk the streets. That's a weird son of a bitch. Pete Hegseth. These people, they do not care about anything except doing Trump's bidding. No matter what it is. And you're the recipient of it. What else we have, and Lake Orion's got one, our representative in Congress is a rubber stamp. She doesn't even have to show up for work. And John James the same way, as a bunch of others. They do not take care of you. Example, let's look at the one that Joni Ernst said. When someone in there in the town hall meeting said, people are going to die if you cut Medicaid. And she said, well, we're all going to die. Well, isn't that something? That's how you feel about it? That's how you care about the people that you represent? I saw that with the people that I ran against. One of the sons of bitches never even lived in the district. They lied. And the people suffered for it. And I saw how they suffered. And I went up to him and I said, you know something? You voted for him or her. You got what you voted for. You didn't bother to check. Ladies and gentlemen, your life, my life, my kids' lives are not a damn reality show. This is not entertainment. This is your life. You better start paying attention. You better take 2 steps back and look at what's going on. Because you're the recipients of it. You will get the brunt end of it. Your kids are going to suffer. He's going into colleges, telling them what they can and cannot do. He's making them pay him. Law firms. Can you not see this? This is extortion. When he got into office, he took Elon Musk. We're going to cut waste and fraud. Cut it? You quadrupled it. Trump is breaking laws right in front of you. The $880 billion from Medicaid, guess what? They did that in 2 days. How did you find all that waste and fraud? No, you didn't. You just cut the money and worked it out so after the next election, it will go into being. Which means he wants to get past 2026. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you better look ahead. Because all those cuts are going to take place. As he gets more and more people in there to back him, slowly your rights are disappearing. He's even going to rewrite history because he doesn't like the way it is. History is a facts of things that have taken place. You don't get to change them to fit your needs, but that's exactly what he's doing. Linda McMahon, that's who you put in the Department of Education? Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? How many years on heroin was he? He's an idiot. You will take science away because Trump says science is against him and it's against you. We have some of the best scientists in the world. We're losing them. We had some of the best colleges and we're losing them. Why? Because he's cutting it down. Am I yelling? You're damn right I'm yelling. I see the beginning of the end. If we allow this to happen. Going back to January 6th, are you aware that he wants to give each one of them $500,000 for all their pain and suffering? Because they went up to the Capitol and tried to destroy it? Now, currently, there's 9 senators whose phone numbers were brought up because they talked to Trump during the incursion of January 6th. He was trying to get them to stall the vote, to keep it from happening. Now they want to get on the gravy train. They're saying, well, you owe us $1 million for putting our phone numbers out. One of them, Tommy Tuberville, was the wrong number. He called Tuberville. He wanted to call someone else. Got the wrong number. Tried to get them to stall. Why? You hear this. You see this. This is fact. You saw what happened outside the Capitol. He gave the family of Ashley Babbitt $5 million of your taxpayer money. If you look at the film, the man to her left broke the window. She poked her head in. She was told not to. She was in the chambers of the representatives. She was told twice not to poke her head in there. She got shot in the shoulder, not between the eyes, like Trump says. Why is it Trump can lie and you believe it, even when you see it in front of your damn face? He gave her $5 million. Why was she there? Because he lied. He lost the election. Now he's going after everyone who went against him. Those senators now, 9 of them, want to collect from the Department of Justice, your Department of Justice, which you no longer have. They will give each one of them $1 million because their phone number was put on a list. Because Trump made a phone call to them during January 6th while he was watching it on TV. And yet he stands there and lies. I told him to be peaceful. It's peaceful to take a fire extinguisher and beat someone over the head with it. It's peaceful to grab their taser and taser them almost to death. Is that what you want? Because if that's what you want, you got it. And you get to live with it. What is the matter with you? Let's take it a step further. Mike Flynn, who was found guilty, who Trump had to fire because he was guilty of collaborating with the Russians before Trump took office in 2017. He was found guilty and was recorded. Now, Trump pardoned him. He's saying, I want $50 million for compensation. For any of you that have gone to court, do you get compensation if you had a traffic ticket and it was expunged? Do you go to the city council and say, hey, you owe me money because I had to take the day off of work to go to court? That's asinine. So let's go to the top of the ticket. Trump wants $230 million as compensation for the times he was in court. Well, let's take a look at that. You had the documents. You lied to the people and said that they kicked in the door of Mar-a-Lago. No, they didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, get the truth. That was all arranged with his attorneys. They met the people outside. The judge saw it and said, yes, there is probable cause to look. Trump was told to be out of the area, which he was. He was up in Bedminster. Melania Trump wasn't there. However, Trump Jr., he was there. He must have been hiding in the closet because he saw them. He said he saw them go through Melania's underwear drawer. Well, that was a damn lie. They never went into Melania's room. Everything was filmed. It was coordinated. It was documented. And he's sitting here telling you, no, they kicked in the door. They went after your favorite president. No, they didn't. You were guilty of sin. You had those documents, and what you were going to do was use them if you lost the next election or if you went to jail. You were going to sell them. We don't even know what you do now. You can't keep that damn big mouth shut. Angry? I see our country going to shit. And you people cheer him. Will you pay a price for it? Yes, you will. You absolutely will. You're paying it now. What he said in Georgia, you heard it on the phone. Find me the votes. Find me the votes to overturn it. And the people of Georgia, who were Republican, who voted for him, said, no, sir, you did not. Now he's going after them because they didn't do his bidding. Can you not see this? He was guilty. He was guilty of being part of January 6th. They've shown the evidence. And he says, no, it's all a lie. It's fact. That's why he wants to change history. Well, let me tell you, if any Trumpsters are listening, it will never pass because those who are still alive will tell the truth. How he can lie to your face, how you can look at the film and he says, see, it's a love fest. How can you do that? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of healthcare, Mehmet Oz in charge of healthcare. You've got to be kidding. Mehmet Oz was selling bogus stuff, medical supplements, and was found guilty. And you trust him? Dr. Phil now admits that he was wrong in backing Trump. Well, the people saw that. Some of them turned on him. He's now since lost most of his luster, if he had any at all. Why can I yell? Because I'm smart enough to see this. I'm educated beyond my intelligence, but I can see this. And when people come up and threaten me for what I've said, and I put forth facts, I either get called names or they walk away. Some of them probably don't want to. My kids will inherit this world. I don't want it being like that. He took away NOAA, FEMA, USAID. Now, let me ask you something. USAID was so powerful for this country. We extended a hand. We showed what kind of people we were, that we would help others. When he did that, and Marco Rubio helped him with this, that food was there. He let it rot in the warehouses while Elon Musk was working out more deals with the federal government. By cutting that out, that pleased Trump, so Trump gave him billion-dollar contracts. That medication, the likes of which cost 12 to 25 cents a dose, were left to rot. The food, the medication was destroyed by fire, which we set. Those kids died. Is it because they were African children? No big deal. Is that it? One could say that. When the president of South Africa was in the White House, Trump lied through his teeth about white apartheid, which Elon Musk and Peter Thiel promoted. Now, they promote it because, and Trump listened to them because they're billionaires. So they must be right. Well, what does that say for you? It was proven that Trump lied to the president of South Africa about the crosses on the side of the road, about the white apartheid, and about the body bags. That was from the Congo. But Trump stuck by his lies. So do we not care about the truth? Because if we don't, hey, you might as well pack it in. He says the governor-elect in New York is a communist. He talks about Antifa. Well, let me ask you this. And just try to think this through. If the group Antifa, which there is no group, it's an ideology, it's a thought, It's a premise. They said that Antifa caused January 6th. Trump, in his infinite dumbness, that's a dumb word too, says that Antifa started that. Well, Antifa is anti-fascist, meaning we don't want a fascist. That's what Antifa is. However, does it also mean that if they are anti-fascist, that you must be fascist? You are slowly, step by step, taking over this country. But watch, people. Watch what's happening. Watch how these ICE agents are on the street. Watch how they can push you around. Watch how he can give your name and now he knows everything about you because it's all recorded. All your information, except for your voting records, is recorded. He knows where you are. He knows how to get you. He knows he can put a crime to your name. He knows he can come after you. You better get used to it because you're allowing it to happen. I warn you, you have one thing left. Because right now, we seem to be sitting on our ass not doing anything. If you so much as walk up to the ICE agents and say something to them, you can be tackled to the ground. Did you see when they took the old man down? 6 agents on him. Is that what you want? It's happening in your streets. It's happening in your town. And he's just saying, I can do whatever I want. He's told Texas, change the borders, change the districts so that I can have 5 more votes, so I can keep power. And as he keeps power, he can put more and more of this into place because people like Lisa McClain and John James don't give a damn about the people. They are a rubber stamp vote. They don't even have to show up for work and they still get their check. Lisa McClain doesn't even show up to talk to her people because she's afraid. I was on the phone with that idiot that she put in the office. And he made a stupid remark, so I gave another stupid remark back to him. And I had the sheriff at my door. Lisa McClain doesn't give a damn about anyone in this country except for herself. Trump says put armed guards in the city. She's all for it. They don't even stop to think. They just do it. Because they want to stay where they're at. We're in a sad, sorry state. All these things going on. I mean, I know I'm rambling back and forth. There's just so much going on. And I'm standing there wondering, how is this happening? Do we not care? Your kids with AI right now, they're talking at the U.S. Post Office cutting 48,000 jobs. Kroger cutting 60 stores. Kohl's cutting stores. Restaurants going out of business. One guy who voted for Trump had to close his business down because of tariffs and the economy and lay off 50 people. And now he said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Right now, you have your vote. In the next few months, you're going to watch Trump. Now, if you step back, take 2 steps back and watch, keep an open mind and listen, Trump is slowly taking away your right to vote. He has broken rules because with him there are no rules. I'm Trump, I do what I want, otherwise I'll have you arrested. That's a fascist. That's a communist. That's someone who's a dictator. That's someone who takes this very book and wipes his ass with it. This book is the last thing that's going to save you, with the exception of this one last thing, and that is your vote. He's going to have armed guards there. He's going to have people there to discredit you, to keep you from voting. Once he gets a little more, there will be no turning back. How do we know this? Trump said he knew nothing about Project 2025. He was in on it. The one person that you really have to be very careful of, the one that's causing the majority of the problems, is Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is psycho. Stephen Miller is a Nazi. That has been proven. Sebastian Gorka. Notice the women that are in charge of his departments. Notice a pattern? I wonder if Melania knows about them. But that's okay. What he said about Melania is if she leaves him, how long will he be on the free market? An hour? Really? That's what you think of her? You say that immigrants poison the blood of this nation. Well, what have you done? All but one of your kids are vile and have poisoned the blood of this nation. But you say no, because they came from you. But from everyone else, they poisoned the blood. You want something from Trump? Pay him off. Give him something. We had standards, ethics, morals, a duty to the people that you represented, and it's all gone. He has wiped it away. Trump has gone so far as to bomb people in the water. He says they're drug runners, yet they cannot prove anything. The two survivors that they did get, they shipped them immediately back to their countries, Ecuador and Colombia, and they freed them because they were nothing but fishermen. Look what he's doing. He's blowing the people out of the water. The proper procedure is to board the boat and get the drugs off of there. But they don't do that. They see a boat, they bomb a boat. Do you see a pattern here? He sends these people into cities. He even tells them, I'm coming in, and you will bow down to me. Do you think this is temporary? We learned history. And history right now is not only repeating itself, we are watching it happen. You better pay attention. It is happening in front of your face. AI will take over many, many jobs. Now, there was one thing that he said during the debate with Biden. He said all the Hispanics, all the illegal aliens were taking away the black jobs. Allegedly, he has said, I didn't hear it verbatim, so I'm telling you this. I did not hear it verbatim, but I heard of it. That once he got all the illegal aliens out, he would have jobs for them. Really? Is that how it works? During the debate, this jackass said, they're eating the cats and dogs. And people cheered him. That was a lie. But that hurt a great many people. But to Trump, it didn't matter because it was a lie that he could push. In that same debate, he said he saved Obamacare. He has been trying to get rid of Obamacare, not because it's good, but because it came from Obama, who he despises. Trump has shown what a racist he is over and over and over and over again. And then has the nerve. He does his little comedy show where he says, I unified the country. You unified the country, did you? This country has never been more divided. You saved Obamacare? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? $23 million on Obamacare, and you could give a damn. $23 million. But because it's Obamacare, the hell with them. And some of those are Republicans, people who voted for you. With SNAP, you cut that. You cut other benefits. And then you turn around and spend the money on yourself. You're uploading crypto beyond all expectations. You found a new way of money laundering by selling this bullshit coin for hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, what they do, just like with your hotel, the Saudis rented rooms in your hotel to the tune of $850,000 and never showed up. It was a way of getting money to you, and that's what you're doing now. CBS paid you a stipend of $16 million in order for you to sign off on them for a merger. You're a con man. And you keep it up and keep it up and keep it up and don't stop. And the people who follow you cheer you on. You're nothing but a goddamn fly who spews out maggots. Make America great again? We're a goddamn disgrace. Other countries now are starting to not exchange information with us. You went over to Saudi Arabia and into the Middle East, and you made deals for yourself. Over and over again. The hotels, you signed contracts. That's not your job. You got your kids over there raking in millions of dollars. They say right now you're worth $10 billion. You've never been worth $10 billion. People, look what he's doing to you. And you're paying the price for it. He even comes up with some bullshit of, I'm going to give everybody $2,000 out of the tariff fund. You've raised our rate. If China were to call in their markers, we're done. He doesn't know how to negotiate. He doesn't even know how to talk to people. But right now, he's got yes men. Yes, yes, yes. Anything he says, yes, sir, no, sir, whatever you say, sir. But that's at your expense. You will live with that. You think I'm animated? This is my country. I was brought up to believe in my country. I saw the history of my country. You know what else is worse? The religious, they're pushing white nationalism. Hegseth and Trump. There is a preacher out there that wants to take us back to 1776. Women, you will do as you're told. You will be subservient to the husband. You will not have the right to vote. You will not have the right to own property. You are secondary citizens. When I said, look at the type of people that Trump has, look at them. You see a pattern? Kristi Noem is a dog killer. She should be in jail just for that. You shot a dog, and when he wouldn't die, you walked up to him and put 2 bullets in his head. To me, that's disgusting. It's bad enough, and you allow it to happen to kids. You don't care about kids. The stuff that you're doing now is just, it's been done by science, but you say that science is false because you said so, yet you don't know. You can't even spell science. Well, what's coming out is Project 2025 Part 3. As soon as Part 2 is secured, Part 3, we will have crossed the line and not come back. I'm going to tell you about a book. Hopefully, you have enough gumption to read it. It's a small book by Timothy Snyder called On Tyranny. It will tell you the 20 steps for the takeover of this country, for Trump to be the dictator. You've watched Trump do these things in front of your face. He's taking a plane from Qatar and having the U.S. citizens pay for the renovation, and he's going to keep it. They pay him money. They pay him in gold. Is this the president that you want? But what was worse was when the goddamn Supreme Court said that he has absolute immunity. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there should piss you off to no end. No politician, no citizen has absolute immunity. When the picture was put out of Trump saying, I can have you killed, and the second picture says, of the Supreme Court says, yes, he can. John Sauer testified in court when they made that decision that Trump can have someone killed. Could he be prosecuted? Only if he's impeached. And a judge said, what if he shoots the people that would vote for it? Well, then he can't be impeached and he can't be tried. Trump can steal your valuables. He can steal your home. And all he has to say is, I did it for the good of the country. That defense came from Alan Dershowitz in his first term, in the first impeachment. That has never, ever, ever been allowed. We base this country on the people rule. Well, the people don't rule anymore. When are you going to get it through your heads? When you saw that one Grim Reaper, that was disgusting. When he dressed himself up as the Pope, that's not funny. You're allowing it to happen. It's happening in front of your eyes. You need to say something. Every one of you needs to stand up. But I will tell you this. You have that one thing that's going to get him, that can get him, and that is your vote. I'm begging you, I'm imploring you, vote this next election. And damn well better vote in 2028 if there is an election. Because if the Republicans win, Trump's plan, Project 2023 Part 3, will be, the election will be suspended. How will he do it? Everyone in those offices. Some of those offices are supposed to be independent. He put them under his rule. He can't do that. He's doing it, and the people are saying, well, I don't know. You will see what he wants you to see. He will let you hear what he wants you to hear. This son of a bitch has taken over the Kennedy Center and wants to name it after himself. He tore down part of the White House so he can put his own name on it. He wants the Washington Commanders to put his name on the stadium. He took over the FIFA, which is here next year, and he will dictate where they play. He even took over the Olympics. He damn near destroyed California. Listen to the truth. He said he let the water down. That water in California for the fires never even reached the area. I used to live in California. He just wasted the farmers' water, which cost them their crops, which cost you higher prices. But he stands there and he lies, and he lies, and he lies. And you know why he lies? Because we don't check. Because we take what he says and say, oh, Trump said it. It must be true. Ask the people of North Carolina when he went through and said, see, Biden doesn't do anything for you, but I will. He's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. What has he done now? He sent in ICE, which sends in the National Guard, which sends in the Marines. How about the ships that he has off the coast of Venezuela? Don't agree with Maduro, their leader. I don't. But he is their leader, whether it's right or wrong. You know, it's really amazing. It's really kind of ironic. Trump is complaining about a dictator in Venezuela, and he's acting like one now. Isn't that ironic? He's telling people what they can and cannot do. The only difference is, with him, if you pay him enough, you can do whatever you want. And that's happening to you. He's cutting the money for your kids' education. Am I going to be one of the last generations that has learned how to think? Will your kids, who are in school now, will they go the way of North Korea? Will they bow to the dear leader whose picture is on the wall every place they go? This man's got his portrait up on buildings. Can't you see this? I don't know. I just... How can you not see it? The safety issues and your planes. He put a reality show actor in charge of the FAA. Reality show. Marco Rubio did an investigation on Russia, the Russian hoax, and gave the findings. Now he's changed his mind. That should scare you right there. That these people will turn on you. You're nothing to them. He says, well, the American people don't like you. Polls are very tricky. If I were a pollster and I went through Lake Orion and I can go where I want and I can ask 10 people, do you like Trump? There's a good chance that 7 out of 10 would say yes. So then I go on the news and I say 70% of the people approve of Trump. I only talked to 10 people. When I ran for office, I used to tell people, your vote belongs to you. You vote your conscience. You vote your knowledge. You vote your beliefs. Okay? And then we all live with it. Here's the problem. I didn't lie to people. I told them the truth. When they ask you, how are you going to vote? I said, well, this is how it works. I am one of 85,000 voters. One of 85,000. I have no more power in my vote than you do in yours. If the population says no, with the information that I give them, provided it is truthful and honest and unbiased, they can cast their vote correctly. He lied to the people of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. He lied to them. Said that Biden was going into Gaza and going to wipe it out, and that wasn't true at all. He lied. So they didn't vote for, they may not have voted for him, but they sure as hell didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Because he lied. So if he'll lie to them, who else will he lie to? He will give favors to people to do his bidding. They will pay him to get him to do their bidding. Cryptocurrency is a scam. It's been a scam for years. Now they're writing the laws to justify that scam. Is that what you voted for? When all is said and done, if Trump gets through with what he does, he will be the richest man ever. Elon Musk lied and lied and lied and got into these companies. They got us because Trump let them in. Cause a stir in a city, Trump will have your ass. He has admitted that he will use the Internal Revenue Service to go after his enemies. He will use the DOJ to go after his enemies. You have no Department of Justice anymore. It is gone. The only way is for us to get lawyers and ex-FBI agents and the people who have gotten shit on to come together and fight this menace. Your government does not belong to you anymore. Do not be surprised that Trump tries to eliminate Congress. He has stated out of his mouth, he will send the stuff up to the Supreme Court and they will take care of it for him. Meaning, they are bought and paid for. Leonard Leo is going to give Alito and Thomas $1 million to retire so that Trump can put in 2 more justices at the age of 40 that will do his bidding. Not the bidding of the people. You no longer have that protection anymore. Look at him. When they said he has absolute immunity, that was the end of you. He can have you killed because while he's in office, if he feels you are a threat to the country, he can have you killed. And that is part of his job. This is unbelievable. And as I was saying, we have 2 aircraft carriers and 3 battleships off the coast of Venezuela. Why are we fighting Venezuela? You didn't check those boats. Take Trump into a court of law. Take Hegseth into a court of law. Hegseth, how is it that a 5-star general would take orders from a drunken major? Are you telling me that a major knows more than a 5-star general? Are you telling me that he fired all these people with knowledge and brought in better people? Look at the end of your paycheck. All that money that goes into the government. And it's being paid out. Trump wants $230 million. Did you know how he paid for his legal fees? He paid them through, oh geez, even I'm losing it now. Through super PACs. They paid it. He did not pay it out of his pocket. None of his money was used for his defense. None of his money. He lost to E. Jean Carroll to the tune of $5,000. What does he do? The next day he goes on TV and does it again. And the jury awarded her $80-some million because he can't keep his mouth shut. This man is not smart. He's a con man. He was trained by Roy Cohn. He was trained by Jeffrey Epstein. How do you think he learned how to do this blackmail? He knew what was going on with Epstein. He was there. There's proof of it. And they're trying to cover it up. you better take 2 steps back and look at what the hell is going on. Read up on it. Now he wants all that money overturned. He wants his convictions overturned. He was in bed with Stormy Daniels. We weren't. That was him. Oh, I didn't do it. Well, she had enough details on you. You don't think Trump or Putin has anything on Trump? Were you aware that of the equipment for COVID? Trump sent our equipment over to Putin. Putin even instructed him, you better not let the people know. Over 1 million people died and he didn't give a damn. Not one damn did he care. It was all a show to him. When he said to drink bleach, and that'll take care of it. Is this an educated man, or is this just somebody that gets up there and is playing his reality show? Every day is a new episode. That's what he told Reince Priebus his first day in office. Just look at every day as a new episode in a reality show. My life is not a reality show. Neither is yours. I say it again and again and again. Take back your life. Your life has a direct effect on your kids' life, on your wives, on your grandchildren, on your job, on your town. And he can destroy it. Those people that he's picking up and sending into detention camps, did you know that in that big bill, and I'm not going to say it's beautiful because it isn't, that he put billions of dollars into ICE for more agents, that he put it in for 50 detention camps, 1 in every state? Why would he need detention camps in every state? Ask yourself that question. More ICE agents? Those ICE agents answer to him. Kristi Noem is just a reality show bitch. She keeps putting on costumes. She spent $200 million on costumes and commercials for herself. That's your taxpayer money. That's supposed to be protecting you, not doing a fashion show for her. And yet you look at it, oh, well, she's just letting us know what's happening. With Epstein, Trump knew. He was involved in it. Pam Bondi knows it. She needs to hide it. Kash Patel knows it. He needs to hide it. Did you know? Currently, his girlfriend gets FBI protection. That's how he's abusing the system. He knows nothing about the FBI. Agents are quitting. The DOJ is being depleted of good lawyers. These lawyers aren't there for the money. They're there to help the people of the United States. Trump doesn't want that. He wants his people in there. So we are need to get our own DOJ. That is for the people, not for Trump. Watch how they talk when they're in Congress. I don't have to answer that. Pam Bondi even brought up bullshit accusations. These are the people that work for you. I'm going to push on that for the last few minutes of this. This country, this Constitution, of the people, by the people, for the people. We rule. We do. Our vote rules. Our vote. We're the ones that dictate it. To the other countries coming for the Olympics, you might want to think twice. And that's a damn shame. This should be a great event, and this person's taking it over so he can promote himself. I got a few minutes left. How do we fix this? How do we fix this? 1, educate yourself. The truth is out there. Look for it. 2, look around you. I can look back on my life and see how great the country was at one time. I see it deteriorating. I'm watching it. I had a good life. My parents gave me a good life. I had good education. Now, kids are going to be at a disadvantage. They're going to be owned and ruled by the government instead of we rule the government. It's happening before your face. This red hat bullshit. And those that believe in him, you're maggots. When Trump said after USAID was cut off that he would send dumpsters over there to throw away the bodies, that statement has not been verified. But it fits, especially with Elon Musk. Is that how we view human beings now? We're in a sorry state. We have not crossed that line yet. But unless you pay attention, we will. And when we do, we cannot go back. I implore you, stop and think. Look at what's going on around you. You know the difference between right and wrong. They do not. The congressperson who's representing us does not know the difference between right and wrong, and yet she praises God. These people that say, God bless Trump, God wouldn't give Trump a goddamn nickel. I get angry because I watch what we were disappear. The future doesn't look very bright. You can accept it, and if you accept it, then shut your mouth and live with it. But I refuse to. I'm afraid of what might happen to me. I have to admit that because of the threats that I've already gotten. I can't hold back any longer, and I refuse to do so. For my kids, when my parents brought us up, they saw a brighter future for us. I thought that for my kids when they were younger. I don't see that now. Think about it. I've said a lot. There's so much more. Use your judgment. You know the difference between right and wrong. If it's wrong, it's just plain wrong. I thank you for listening to me. All I want to do is make you think. Point things out. You take it from there. Maybe we can save this and keep it from happening. So again, I thank you for listening. I'm proud, hopefully being on the air before the holidays, but if not, please have great holidays. Thanksgiving is a day to be thankful for. Be thankful for what you had. Because if we keep going the way we are, we won't have it much longer. So I thank you and have a good night.